Hello and welcome to Versus Humanity, episode 2, the one where we learnt what we did wrong in the first episode and applied it to this one. Joining me in the TeamSpeak room, as usual, is Matt Hart. Say hello, Matt.
Hello, Matt.
Yeah, that's going to become a catchphrase. I mean, I don't have a catchphrase. I mean, like, what don't I have?
A catchphrase?
Oh, right. Oh, dear. Noel Edmonds, I envy you. Anyway, we've got some interesting topics coming up on today's episode.
Yes.
If I could speak properly, that is. Today we are covering... I should explain. Me and Matt have a list of awful things that we've reserved to talk about on the podcast.
Quite long.
Yeah, it's a fairly long list. Eventually we're going to have to start crossing things off it, and then... hopefully we'll have guests by then, so maybe they'll have something interesting to talk about.
Yep.
Okay, so the topic for today is one of Matt's contributions, or at least the contribution I presumed Matt would want to make, and so that is a list to start with. Exams. Yay! Everybody loves those. So, do you want to explain your exam situation at the moment, Matt?
Right. So, right. GCSEs, great fun. Not really. I am nearly done. I've had 18 and I have 6 left.
Oh.
24.
I can't remember how many I had, but I think I had significantly less due to health reasons.
Yeah.
I basically, the start of my high school, by the way, Americans, our schooling system is different. The numbers don't quite line up, so Google it. It's weird.
A grade is one higher than a year.
Well,
no.
To begin, exactly. It doesn't quite line up in any particular way. It's a bit weird, but you can Google it. We work on the British system.
The best system.
So the time when we do GCSEs is called Year 11. So that's what... Well, actually, you start them in Year 10, but...
I think that's 10th grade.
So, no, it might be 9th. Is it 10th or 11th grade? That's
I think it's 10th.
We have no idea. Americans have just done it differently for the sake of it. It's a conversation I've had with a friend of mine about several times, and we can't work out why they're different. But,
no.
So what subjects are you taking? Because at this point we get to choose. So.
Well, I've got the core ones and 5 that I picked, so...
what are the core English, maths, I think it's a science. They usually get you to do either biology and chemistry or biology, chemistry and physics, I think, is the way that worked.
It's, for our school, it's like, there are 3 tiers of the sciences. Everyone has to do biology, chemistry, physics, and if you're medium ability... then you do 2 units of each of those. And if you're of high ability, you have to do 3 units of all of those.
So basically they're punishing the people who are clever.
Yeah, I have to do 9 science exams.
Oh yes, I remember, because they split those up into modules as well, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's better than one, like 3 3-hour exams.
Yeah, definitely.
It could be much worse.
Although one thing... Right. Speaking of unnecessarily long exams, English, right, so I've had 3 English exams, all were 2 hours, and all of them have 2 halves.
Yeah, what?
Why?
I don't see, what is half an exam, anyway? So, do they give you a different bit of paper, or is it like a different task, or...?
Well, it's this... Well, so, say the last one I had was 2 different books.
Yes.
So, like, the same amount of marks for both books.
Okay.
You're meant to spend an hour on one and an hour on the other. So
right.
Why is it one exam that's 2 hours?
Do you get... Is that something that's enforced? Like...
Yeah.
So you get the other books taken away and you can't look at them or anything like that?
You're not allowed books for it anyway.
Oh, right, yes.
You have to, like, memorise
They changed the rules about that, I think. Okay, we should definitely not mention the names of any schools. just in case they've done things wrong. And,
Oh, yeah.
but I think, as far as I remember, we were allowed the books as long as they were unannotated.
I think that is right. You definitely used to be. I know
Yeah.
people have before.
Yes. If I remember rightly, I think someone actually was given, like, they had a set of clean books, and that, they thought were clean, and someone was given one that was actually annotated. So
Yes.
yeah,
Funny story about annotation in exams. Someone had written some note for science on their hand, and like, I think the day before or something, or the morning, I don't know. And they, obviously, having a specific biology term or whatever on your hand in an exam is a bit,
suspicious.
they might be cheating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this person had tried to rub it out. Like, they really tried, but they couldn't rub it out. So they just, so they went to one of the invigilators, and they were given a plaster to cover it over with. That's quite cool. A Band-Aid.
Good Americanism there. That's a good
Yes.
translations. We do have to translate everything into America.
Oh,
By the
yes.
way, if we mentioned aluminium, it is a metal
We are
that
right.
you stupidly call aluminum,
Yeah.
because you don't realise that there's a letter missing in the way you spell it. But
Yeah.
oh, that's a whole other episode there, I think. Americanisms. I don't like them. They're just different for no reason at all.
Definitely.
It's like, oh. So, the subjects you were doing were the core, so English, maths, science. Isn't there a language in there, or is there supposed to be a language?
I don't. I think everyone has to do IT just everywhere in the country, I think.
Oh right, yes, yeah.
But our school also make us do RE, which is great.
Oh
fun.
yes, I do remember doing that. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. I don't think all schools make you do it.
By the way, people, an RE exam is basically just writing down. So the people of this religion think that. They think this because la la da 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 da. Therefore, they would think this about this.
Yes.
That is an RE exam.
And they don't give you enough time to do it. So, yeah.
No?
It's just not enough time. It's a 1.5 hour exam, but it's still not enough time. Because you have to do, well explained.
Well, explained.
Yeah. You've got to do some good explanation. Oh, wow, that's the right word.
Yeah, that
No,
Sorry.
explanation then.
This
All right.
this English GCSE that you're presumably going to get given.
Well, I've finished all the English, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing, is that basically exams and the whole thing about revision basically means you know a load of stuff for about an hour or an hour and a half,
Yeah.
and then you forget everything.
It's like, I'm not going to use specific quotes of Mice and Men in future life.
Oh, I remember reading of Mice and Men. It's genuinely a depressing book.
Yes.
What was your other book that you read?
There are 2 other books and poetry units, so the other books... Well, sorry, one's a book, one's a play. The book is Heroes by Robert Cormier.
Never read it.
No, I wouldn't have read it or heard of it if it wasn't
Or
in my
wanted
GCSE.
to read it? Or
Yeah, that's right. And there's a play called Inspector Calls by someone.
Our school performed that. I was part of the tech team for that. It's a fairly weird one. Is that the one where there's a couple of critics in the audience who actually end up becoming characters or something like that?
So it's basically there's an inspector visits this house that the whole family have supposedly been involved in this girl's suicide. And
Right.
an inspector comes called Inspector Ghoul and kind of he tells everyone why they're guilty and figures it out and everything. And then, at the end, sorry, spoilers coming, it turns out that the inspector was actually not... He definitely wasn't... How do I say... Well, so they get convinced that the inspector is just been, like, faking it. And that, like... But that he was talking about all different... It's quite hard to explain. That the people I don't know...
Okay, well, it's very clear that you're going to be able to write a very concise piece about this
yes,
play
yeah.
that will obviously be incredibly informative and definitely worthy of you being given given an arbitrary letter. In response.
And basically, in the end, he's a ghost.
I think the reason I don't remember the plot of this particular play is because of a certain event that happened during it. That was basically is there a character in a wheelchair or somebody supposed to be like disabled or something? I think, isn't there?
No, I think your school's version has just changed everything for fun or whatever.
It was definitely out of a book, and I think it was called The Inspector Calls, but I could maybe I'm getting this confused with something else. But at one point during this performance, it was like we actually had an audience in. At this point, there's a scene where there is somebody sort of gets pushed in on a wheelchair fairly quickly.
Okay,
somebody runs through with Can anybody in the non-existent audience guess what happens when you run with a wheelchair on a slippery hall floor?
Is the wheelchair misfired?
Misfired?
Well, do they accidentally throw the person in the wheelchair off a stage or something?
Oh no, this wasn't actually done on a stage. It was done basically on the hall floor with the audience sort of surrounding. It was a bit of a weird use of space, but I think it's so they could have this more sort of audience interactive thing.
Yeah.
But basically this person just came running in on this wheelchair, and then it sort of tipped over and skidded about 2 meters across the floor. During the actual performance.
Okay.
Nobody was hurt. Everything was okay, but it was amazingly hilarious. I was doing the sound effects at this during this particular performance. Yeah. So, and in a position where I was actually fairly visible to the audience as well.
Yeah.
So I had to sort of try and, when you have to hold in a laugh because it would be inappropriate to laugh during that sort of...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. There's probably plenty of stories around that if anybody in the comment section or would like to email them in, perhaps, or something like that. There's got to be some good stories there. Please send them in. But yeah, the wheelchair just went flying. It was... scary at the time until we realised that nobody was hurt. At which point, we after the performance was over, we laughed a fair amount. So yeah, your other subjects. What are you doing?
Well, I've finished most of them now.
So you said the core.
Yeah, I think that was all the core.
English, maths, science, RE. Let's just say that's what that is.
Yeah. We would have to have PSE and PE lessons, but no exam, which is obviously good.
Oh, PE and what? Sorry, it was...
PSE as well.
Oh, that. I think they call it PSHE in our school.
It's different, yeah.
Physical social health education or something like that. It's like...
Yeah.
Basically, it was an hour they couldn't fill with anything else, so they just wasted our time.
Yeah.
We also had a lesson called Learning to Learn.
Oh, we had that in Year 7.
Oh yeah, this isn't GCSEs, this is just high school in general, but Learning to Learn was a contradiction in terms, because how can you learn to learn if you don't know how to learn in the first place?
Very true.
It's physically impossible. Technically, it's not, because... Hold on, I think... I just heard my doorbell go off. Excuse me. I'll be back in a minute.
I can see you.
Oh, it's raining outside, and there's a plan to, or at least I think there was, have some sort of street party at about 3. So it's about 20 minutes until that kicks off. But it's tipping it down, so I doubt anyone will show up. So that's amazing.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, stop organising parties in the road. Such a stupid idea. I sound like such a NIMBY, don't I? Where were we?
What I've taken.
Yes, this is taking a very long time to do. Probably my fault, but... Okay, I'm going to shut up for a minute till you finish your list.
Okay, so my option ones, I took drama, French, which was my biggest waste of a GCSE because it was pointless and, yes, rather boring. And option IT, the exam of which is actually not, it's like so hardly related to IT. It was like, it has been like, how could you make this advert inclusive to all audiences? Not IT. I didn't take...
Paint a rainbow on it!
Yes. But yeah. Oh, I can talk about... I've got an extra tab open in my mind of something to talk about related to exams.
Okay.
So I also took product design. Quite a good one. Apart from the 2 hour of exam I've got coming up. And what have I said? I said drama, French. I took music as well.
Ah, yes. He is musical.
Of course.
He has
Definitely.
musicalness. But yeah, what you something about product design. I think the equivalent I had was called design and technology. And we have that anyway for the first few years, and then you take your options. So I spent an entire year making a spatula. Like,
wow.
the entire course, the entire year of a design and technology was making a spatula. And I just think, oh crap. And
is it a really good spatula?
No, it's really not. But it was just a load of unnecessary nonsense just piled on top. By the time the spatula had been made, it was about a year later. So it's...
I don't need a spatula.
I might be remembering this wrong, but it's good enough. Drama, I sort of helped out around the expensive bits of drama, all the equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
I never actually did the GCSE or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It also got me out of a lot of other lessons because I'd have to go and help out with that, which was yeah,
very good.
Also responsible for one of my greatest personal rivalries, which I don't really want to get into because it was just painful. It ended in a broken bone, and it was mine.
Oh, okay.
It was mine.
Okay. Yes.
It wasn't a particularly big bone, but I don't. Oh. Just the pain of all the stupidity I had to deal with was.
Yes.
So, did you say you've got specific problems with the exams? You said about the two halves of the same exam.
Yes. Oh, a problem is, for some reason, occasionally in exams there'll be year 10s in the hall, so not in their final GCSE year.
Oh, what? So doing mocks? What?
I don't think so. I think that they've changed the course, so they do certain exams in year 10 or something like that.
Well, I suppose it's sort of better to spread them out, really. But
yeah, but year 10s, they're just plagues upon the earth. Just get rid of them. Because
See, actually, I think this is different from year to year. There'll be a year within a school that is just...
Yeah.
By the time I was in year 11, this was year 9, I think. Or perhaps basically, the first few years of high school are just the most... You just want to strangle them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, in the RE exam, as I've said, if it made it in, who knows, is not long enough. So it's like, oh no, I don't have enough time. I'd better concentrate and get on with this. Then, a little funny, or it's really, really funny year 10 thinks, I know what would be really funny. I'm going to start a coughing game. Which was funny in year 7. It's great fun. Not in GCSE exams, though. So basically, one person coughs, and all of their best mates are like, oh, I'm going to get into this comedic coughing fit as well.
Crikey.
This is what happens when you let year 10s in the same exam hall as a GCSE year 11 students.
Oh, crying out loud. That just sounds like the most annoying thing ever.
Yes.
But of course, you're physically told you are to keep your mouth shut, so you can't turn around and scream at them to shut up. Which is probably the most
And they can just
thing.
be like, I was only coughing. I've got a really bad cough that I've had for weeks.
In unison, they're just...
Yeah. It's synchronise the coughing. No. Yes, and being in exams doesn't let you escape from hooligans. I think this was also caused by year 10. So basically, I think probably about 5 times since I've been at the school, in like about 4.5 years probably, they'll just for banter, they'll set off the fire alarm.
Yep, that is a classic one.
Yes. I wasn't in this exam, but I think it was an RE exam. But so someone who wasn't in the exam thought, I'm so funny, I'm going to set off the fire alarm. I won't muck up anyone's GCSEs or anything, that'll be funny.
Yeah, and actually the other thing about that is I think quite a lot of schools will have their systems automatically tied in to call the fire service.
Yes, that would be
if
bad.
It's not a drill, and you really should not be wasting the time of firefighters, because they're the ones who... It's their job to save you when you're going to burn alive. So,
yes.
Maybe just be nice to them.
Yeah.
I mean, like, or anybody else who might be burning in a fire, because they tend to take schools fairly seriously.
They do. Yes.
Because they're a huge building with lots of equipment in them.
And many people.
Yeah. Quite a lot of people, which means it's fairly flammable. That's it.
Yes.
Something I do remember from high school, which is an event. We had a gas leak from like the cooking area. So
Yes.
the entirety of a single building was emptied. So it's we have like 3 main buildings, and the fourth one just has a couple of classrooms in. But like the main building had everybody go out because they found this gas leak. So that was that was a fairly difficult rescheduling of where kids should be. I'm not sure if they ever fixed it or not, but I think they did. Yeah, they must have done.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Can't remember when though. There's a lot of stuff I don't remember from high school, mainly because I wasn't there for a lot of it. Like a lot of year 10 and pretty much all of year 11, I had illness. So most of my high school memories are from year 7, 8, and 9. So yeah, all the best ones really.
Yes. Yeah.
The ones where you aren't being pressured about an exam that really doesn't make any difference at all.
Well said.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. That's. I've just remembered something. Oh, crikey! Where have my screen's gone? Huh. My computer just turned off its displays. It's fine. It's coming back now.
You just said, "Where have my screen's gone?" It's like you've been looking down, and you look up, and all of the monitors have been stolen by someone you didn't notice come into your house and into your room and steal them.
That would be a very difficult task.
Yes, it would.
The room, the door to the room I'm in is on the very right hand side of the room. So in order for that to happen, basically if I turn about like 20 degrees to the right, I can see the door. So
yeah,
it would be very difficult. Second thing, my monitors are clamped to my desk.
Wow, quite a challenge.
It's got one of those arm situations going on. So there's 3 22-inch monitors that it'd have to get rid of in order for that. In order for that to happen. But yeah, the thing I remember was actually from my computing GCSE, which I think is... It sounds much like your... Actually, no, it doesn't sound a thing like your optional IT thing.
No, but we don't have anything like that.
Yeah, it was learning to code, basically, most of it. The rest of it was... Yeah, there was actually a mistake in one of the mock exams we did. Like a test paper, practice paper, I don't know what you call it, but it was, I think I've told you about this one before, I think. But I'm going to mention this now for the podcast.
Yes.
There was a question about, like, it gave you a device and asked you to label it as an input, an output, a storage, or I can't remember the other one.
Yeah.
I think there was another one. But yeah, they had the DVD drive, as in the thing that reads the DVD, in the mark scheme was labelled as a storage device. Now that is basically like saying that your DVD player is a storage device.
Yes.
Which it isn't.
Indeed.
And as much as a USB port is a storage device. So they were wrong. They were just completely and utterly wrong. I can't remember what they did about that, but just... In fact, quite a lot of us who were on track to get A stars actually only got A's in computing, and we're not quite sure why, because we think our teacher might have made a mistake in like the coursework section of things, but we really don't know.
Mystery.
Yeah. So that's it. Also taught me how to code. It was Python I learnt in, and basically once you learn to code in a single language, you can code in anything. So the offshoot of this knowledge that was bestowed upon me is the software I use to play sound effects over the TeamSpeak room.
It's taken you far.
Yeah, it's completely different language, completely different way of coding things, but that's pretty much what it's done for me. I knew about as much about computers as I did when I went in than when I came out the other end. So that was...
Nice.
And it was going on about stuff about databases, and that's a really... It didn't even teach us how to interact with databases via code or anything like that. It was the most poorly selected subjects in that particular GCSE. This is a big subject to cover.
Yes.
And I suppose this is something my mum looks at on the internet, because she's one of the people who finds funny cat videos and these silly memes.
Yeah.
But one thing she particularly likes is like silly answers to exam questions. And I've got a few of them I'd like to talk through. These are sort of compiled from other lists of them around the internet, but you'll be able to find them elsewhere. But I did go through and actually find the ones that I thought were fairly good. The first one is from a maths sort of question. It's called Solving Equation by One Blondie.
Yeah.
It's showing the question is 1 over n sine x equals question mark. So the thing you do with that is you what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to cancel stuff out by like going 1 over n and then n being somewhere else you could cancel. But they've actually taken the n out of sine. So 1 over sine, they've crossed out n and then the n in sine. And then as 1 psi, so basically it becomes 1 psi x, and if 1 times psi x is the same as psi x, so what they basically put is 6, and then put equals 6. That's a good one. I like that one. The other question was there's a graph being shown. It's labelled graph of overall mass versus time, and the question that was asked was explain the shape of the graph. So the person in the exam writ it's curvy with a... Ooh. What's going on, Matt? Are you being arrested?
I think a police car just went past the house. That's all right.
Oh, okay.
Should be all right. It's because I stole some guy's 3 monitors.
How did you get back there in time? And where are my monitors gone? So they've got explain the shape of the graph. It's curvy with a higher bit at the top, higher bit at the end, and a rather aesthetically pleasing slope downwards towards a pretty flat straight bit. The actual graph itself consists of 2 straight lines meeting at the lower left-hand corner of the graph and moving away at a 90-degree angle. Each line has an arrow head on the end. And that is a description of the graph. But it's not an explanation of the graph as such.
Indeed.
Because you're supposed to... Basically, it comes down to this sort of thing. Explain means just sort of, why is the graph like this?
Yeah.
Basically, I think, is what they're looking for.
Yeah, I think so.
The next one I quite liked is... the question is, draw a plant cell and identify its most important parts. So they've drawn a picture of a flower in a box with bars over the top, arrow iron bars, arrow on the other side, no windows. Technically correct, I suppose.
Yeah.
There's another one. Before you read, some atoms share electrons and become more stable. Describe a situation in which people share something and everyone benefits. Communism. Technically... I don't know. That's sort of. This is one of my favourite ones actually. Assess Fashion House PLC's choice to locate its factory near Birmingham. That doesn't. Choice to locate its factory. Okay, that doesn't make sense as a sentence to begin with. But is Birmingham the right location for this type of business? Fashion House PLC. The answer, of course, is no. People from Birmingham aren't very fashionable.
And if you say so.
There's a one from a bit lower end of the education system here. Mike saw 17 blue cars and 25 green cars at a toy store. How many cars did he see? Write a number sentence with a square for the missing number. Explain how the number sentence shows the problem. And they've written 17 plus 25 equals 42. I got the answer by talking in my brain, and I agreed of the answer that my brain got. I mean, that's good.
Yes.
That actually reminds me of a question that was in one of my... I think it was a history mock exam.
Okay.
Or it might have been something else. But basically, the question was, why did the ancient Egyptians use hieroglyphics? And the answer to that is because they did. If you think of that, I mean, because that's their language. That's how they write stuff down. It's not like they could use anything else.
No.
That was a question that really annoyed me. So yeah, last one is just a label of spheres of influence. You've got two spears going around a stick man saying, do it, yeah, do it, no. And he's going, no, F off, spears. Kids are amazing.
Yes.
But yeah, this actually leads very nicely into a story I found a story I was made aware of, I think, by my brother, who got it from his high school teacher. It's quite a while ago. Yeah. It's on the, I think it's the Cambridge University website under some weird path that you probably couldn't get to if you went to their actual page. Yeah. And it's called The Barometer Story. I'm going to read the barometer story. It's not something that we've come up with, but I think it's too good to not share, so I am going to share it. It's cool. The barometer story by Alexander Kalandra, an article from Current Science Teachers edition 1964. So it's quite old.
Oh yes,
1960s. So I'm going to read. And you are going to listen. Are we sitting comfortably?
Yeah.
Oh. Matt, can you go and sit on those spikes over there?
Will do.
Now, are you sitting comfortably?
Very much not so.
Good. Then let's begin. Some time ago, I received a call from a colleague who asked if I would be the referee on a grading of an examination question. Oh, I'm going to make this bigger. Because I'm 4. It seemed that he was about to give a student a 0 for his answer to a physics question, while the student claimed that he should receive a perfect score, and would do so if the system were not set up against the student. The instructor and the student agreed to submit this to an impartial arbiter, and I was selected. The barometer problem. I went to my colleague's office and read the examination question, which was, show how it is possible to determine the height of a tall building with the aid of a barometer. The student's answer was, well, I presume you know the actual reason, the actual intended answer for this.
Is a barometer like a pressure measurer?
Yes, pressure.
So you could
Yeah, basically the answer is to work out the proportions between the measurements at the bottom and the measurements at the top, and through that and some equation you can work out how high the building is.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so right, the student's answer was, take the barometer to the top of the building. Okay, that's a good start. Attach a long rope to it, lower the barometer to the street and bring it up, measuring the length of the rope. The length of the rope is the height of the building. I'd say that's correct.
Yeah. It does use a barometer.
But as the story continues, now this is a very interesting answer, but should the student get credit for it? I pointed out that the student really had a strong case for full credit, since he had answered the question completely and correctly. On the other hand, if full credit were given, it would contribute to a high grade for the student in his physics course. A high grade is supposed to certify that the student knows some physics, but the answer to the question did not confirm this. With this in mind, I suggested to the student to have another try at answering the question. I was not surprised that my colleague agreed to this, but I was surprised that the student did. Acting in the terms of the agreement, I gave the student 6 minutes to answer the question, with the warning that the answer should show some knowledge of physics. At the end of 5 minutes, he had not written anything. I asked if he wished to give up, since I had another class to take care of, but he said no, he was not giving up. He had many answers to this problem, he was just thinking of the best one. You can see where this is going. I excused myself for interrupting him and asked him to please go on. In the next minute, he dashed off his answer, which was... That's not what the answer was, by the way.
Okay, I was like,
That was a drum roll. I don't have that set up on my sound effects, so I can't play one.
Alright.
Okay, his answer was, take the barometer to the top of the building and lean over the edge of the roof. Drop the barometer, timing its fall with a stopwatch. Then, using the formula S equals half AT squared, calculate the height of the building. See, I've actually done that bit of physics, and that is an actual way of working stuff out. It's the Suvat equations. I'm not sure if you've heard of them, but they're basically a way of getting distance out of... Hold on. as... Let me just try and remember this. I think S is difference, or... Wait, is it... I can't... You're supposed to be able to get, like, in this case, S is... It must be some sort of length, I think, out of initial velocity, ending velocity, time taken, and acceleration. So, so it works as an answer. That is a way of calculating the height of a building. Okay, so the story continues. At this point, I asked my colleague if he would give up. He conceded, and I gave the student almost full credit. In leaving my colleague's office, I recalled that the student had said he had other answers to the problem, so I asked him what they were. Oh yes, said the student. There are many ways of getting the height of a tall building with the aid of a barometer. For example, you could take the barometer out on a sunny day and measure the height of the barometer, the length of its shadow, and the length of the shadow of the building, and by the use of simple proportion, determine the height of the building. Yeah. Also works. Yeah, very good. Fine, I said. And the others? Yes, said the student. Okay, yeah. There's a very basic measurement method that you will like. In this method, you take the barometer and begin to walk up the stairs. As you climb the stairs, you mark off the length of the barometer along the wall. You then count the number of marks, and this will give you the exact height of the building in barometer units. Of course, if you want a more sophisticated method, you can tie the barometer to the end of a string, swing it as a pendulum, and determine the value of G at the street level and at the top of the building. From the difference between the two values of G, the height of the building can, in principle, be calculated. This one's my favourite. Finally, he concluded, if you don't limit me to physics solutions to this problem, there are many other answers, such as taking the barometer to the basement and knocking on the superintendent's door. When the superintendent answers, you speak to him as follows. Dear Mr. Superintendent, here I have a very fine barometer. If you will tell me the height of this building, I will give you this barometer. See why that's my favourite one.
Yes,
at this point, I asked the student if he really didn't know the answer to the problem. He admitted that he did, but he was so fed up with college instructors trying to teach him how to think and to use critical thinking, instead of showing him the structure of the subject matter, that he decided to take off on what he mostly regarded as a sham. Is basically...
okay.
That's basically one of my favourite stories involving exams. It's good. I think... If anybody in our audience can think of, another way to measure the height of a building using a barometer, we'll please do send it in. We'll see if we can give you a prize for the best one. I'm not sure how. Any ideas what the prize could be? Well, see how much a barometer costs on Amazon.
Probably not worth giving to someone who thinks of an inventive answer.
Okay, you can get one for about £13.
Oh wow! I thought it'd be more expensive than that.
It's probably not a very good one.
No.
But you can get one for like 20 or something like that. So, okay, I'll think about that. I'm not promising a barometer, but if I feel your answer is worthy of a very fine barometer, then yeah, that's that. Right. That's basically all the notes I had. Would you like to continue in any particular direction?
I could talk about stupid, ridiculously pointless, stupidly easy questions.
Oh, yeah.
I have some named examples.
Oh, so, good.
This is in a IT, so this is the core IT exam, which is the absolute easiest exam I've ever done. It was so good. It was brilliant. 1 hour of easy peasy questions. And
good.
So it had 2 good questions in it. So one of them, 2 really good obvious ones. So one of them, name the input device used to input text onto a website.
That's not even really how it works. But
yeah,
it would be the answer they're looking for there is, of course, is of course a trackball.
Yes, there you go. And then there was one which was, what is the name for a device used to capture pictures?
A photographometer.
But it's just so great that this is part of my exams. And then these are actual qualifications that I gained marks by naming a camera. Brilliant.
Oh wait, I have just remembered something that I found on the internet a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my brother was looking for a lens for a camera. Because people in my family seem to be obsessed with getting ridiculously overpowered cameras. Like
Okay.
the sorts with, like, I think they're called SLRs. Yes, SLRs.
Yeah.
They're the one with removable lenses, and you can get really expensive ones. But we found this website, and we're trying to look for a deal for a good lens. We came across an item on this website called Steve Test,
Okay.
and it was £1.
Did you buy a Steve test?
No. But the curious thing about this Steve Test, though, was it had a picture of a camera on it. So I concluded that the only possible thing it could possibly be would be a device that looks like a camera, but when you look through it, will identify objects and tell you whether or not they are called Steve. Such a device, I feel, would be incredibly useful in everybody's day-to-day life.
Bargain for £1.
Yes, you would not know who to call Steve. And I can't think of how you'd possibly manage without without knowing who to call Steve. So yep, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's still there. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna Google it. Steve Test shopping. No, I don't think it's. Well, it's not coming up on Google anyway.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I know. So bad. But it was £1. It was almost worth actually trying to see what I would be given if I ordered a Steve Test.
Yes.
Oh, any more interesting questions you found?
There was define immigration. Wasn't too hard.
Well, people, immigration. Stealing all our jobs. Am I right?
Well, I didn't put it like that because I thought maybe I won't get the mark.
When somebody moves from one country to another country.
Yes.
But seriously, that whole make the advert more inclusive. What?
Yeah.
I don't. Why do people want to be advertised that? I'm fairly sure that's something we've all agreed is really, really annoying. So. And what was supposedly so bad about this advert anyway? That it wasn't inclusive enough?
I don't think it was like already a bad example. It was like you had to design it. How would you make it inclusive?
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. Fine. But would put a rainbow on it be a valid answer? You think?
I don't know. You'll have to ask an examiner.
Oh. There are some stories about that as well. I was friends with someone who marked exam papers for another school.
Okay.
And they told me about some of the exam papers that they had to mark. Some of them, the kids couldn't even write their own name. Or it's like they had written their name wrong. It was like, what?
Yeah, I remember it was in primary school, so understandable, which is for Americans, that's like...
Flunderhosen or whatever they call it.
Something, yeah. So just when you're young, I was in like probably like first grade or something.
And
then there was
year 2.
Yes, I think so. And so so for the school computer system, we each have an account, and you type in your name and your initial.
Cool.
And a password or whatever. There's this one person that he'd never be able to log on because he couldn't spell his last name. It was just like, wow.
Oh, password security. That's another episode entirely.
Yeah.
I'm saving that and putting that on the shelf. I think it's already on the list, but
it is.
That's going to be a good one. If you have anything regarding that you'd like to send in preemptively, please do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's one more thing that I wanted to come across, and it's an example of how stupid people nowadays have become. It's it's an article from a site called iflscience.com. Not a site I've come across before, so it might be incredibly biased, I don't know. But the title of the article is "Parents are freaking out because they can't answer a 7-year-old kid's exam question."
Nice.
Right, here's the exam question. There are some people on a train. 19 people get off the train at the first stop. 17 people get on the train. There are now 63 people on the train. How many people were on the train to begin with?
I didn't remember the numbers, so can't figure that out. But I'm sure I'd figure it out.
Link in the show notes.
Okay.
So basically the question boils down to 19 people get on a train, 17 people get off. There are 63 people on the train after the 17 get off. How many were on to begin with before the 19 people got off? And the answer is 65. Because basically saying 19 people get off and 17 people get on is the same as saying 2 people get off.
Yeah.
So there are 65 people on the train. Apparently, according to the official marking scheme, the answer is 46.
What?
Yeah.
How?
I mean, the article sums it up fairly well. Presumably, someone messed up the mark schemes. Either that or the 19 people who got off at the first stop have some serious explaining to do.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was good. The other thing I found was it was a question to do with perimeters.
Okay.
It was basically an L shape, except one side of the L was significantly thicker, and you had the measurements of 10 centimeters across, 12 centimeters up, and so it wasn't as like a cuboid, and people were saying, not a cuboid, rectangle. It wasn't a rectangle. And people were saying, this is impossible to calculate the perimeter to. No, it's not. Because perimeter's the same. Because they've just taken out a section. The perimeter is... Ah, dear. Anyway, I think now might be the time to head to that game of knowledge. It is time for 20 citations. Okay, welcome to 20 Citations, the game in which a random Wikipedia page must be guessed towards with 20 questions. Now, last time we played this, we had quite a lot of dead air. In the effort of trying to reduce this, we have added a couple of extra rules. The rules being, we're trying them out now for the first time. You can record the answers to the questions. Answers to any questions you ask. You still have 20 of them, and the first one is still animal, mineral, vegetable, other, etc.
Yep.
But also, during the questioning phase, you have the ability to research. So we're going to see how this works and see if it makes it far too easy or far too difficult, or see if we can end up with something that gets fairly close and something that anybody actually has a chance of winning. So, Matt's going to go first to try this out.
So is it yes or no questions?
Yes or no questions still.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Matt, you have
20
questions.
So, well, animal, vegetable, mineral, or other?
Other.
19
Of course. Is it an object?
18
No.
18.
18.
Is it a... Could you call it a work of art?
No.
17
No, it's not a work of art.
Is it an event?
No.
16
I really don't know.
Think about what could be on Wikipedia. That's... Just to make sure, I'm on 16, yeah?
Yes.
Think about it. Just think about the types of Wikipedia page.
Is it a list of other pages?
15
No. Did I play 16 twice? Or should it be 15?
I don't know.
It's all going wrong.
Wait, no. We've had 5
Sacrifice more
questions.
horses. Sorry?
We've had 5 questions.
Okay, so this you have
15
questions remaining. There we go.
Is it a TV or radio show?
No.
14
That would count under work of art, by the way.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it would. It's not an object.
Not an object, no.
Is it a science?
No.
13
I really do not know.
You've pretty much come up with all the different types it could have been, except the one that it is.
Yeah. Is it a company?
12
No.
No!
Oh, this is bad. This is bad. You're gonna be so annoyed if you go through all of this, and I tell you what it is.
Is it a country?
11
No, but that's a lot closer. That is a lot closer.
Is it a town?
10
Yes, it's a village. Okay, it's a village.
Okay, alright. Is it in Europe?
No.
9
Is it in either America?
No.
8
Is it in Asia?
7
No. Wait a minute. Hold on. I need to work this out. Yes, it is in Asia. Sorry.
Okay. So you weren't sure it was in Asia to start with. So it could be
It really I should have been. It is in Asia.
a village.
Yes, it's a village in Asia.
Yeah.
And bear in mind you're allowed to research.
Villages in Asia. There'll be thousands.
A list. Yeah, I wouldn't start going through a list of Asian villages if I were you. That would probably not be the best use of your remaining questions.
Is the country... Wait, the country that it's in,
Yes.
does it use, at least predominantly, the English kind of alphabet?
No.
So not like
Six.
Japanese or whatever.
They don't, no.
Okay. Well, is the country in China?
5,
The village, sorry.
No.
Japan?
4,
No. You can look at the countries in Asia and see if you can think of something
Okay.
that would help.
All right.
Do I need to start playing the Jeopardy theme? Ask something. I don't
Is
know.
it?
Ask. My hand is like hovering over this button and it's getting fairly numb. You're killing my hand, Matt.
So, is it in? No, I think India uses a English alphabet.
You are allowed to fact check this, of course.
That's true.
By the way, I'm based my answer to that question based on its official language. So
Okay.
if that helps. What on earth was that? Matt, your microphone's muted, mate. So okay, so you're on
4,
questions. You were about to ask something, I think, just before you left.
I don't know. Right. Is it in India?
No.
3,
It's not Thailand?
No, it's not Thailand. You got 2 questions left, and you haven't even got
What?
the country.
No way.
You got 3 questions left, and you haven't even
Oh.
got the country.
So I'm basically guessing all of the countries in Asia out of the 52.
Oh. You know, in the interest of trying to get at least one successful result, I'm going to tell you it's in Saudi Arabia.
I would. Wait. Oh. Okay. Right. Okie dokie.
Yeah. Okay, it might be interesting now.
It's a village in Saudi Arabia.
To be fair, that's about as specific as we've managed to get with anything else.
Yeah.
When it comes down to the whole not having rabies festival in Australia.
Oh, there's a list of cities and towns in Saudi Arabia,
Oh,
which is
okay.
helpful.
It's a village, though, so...
Yeah. Is the village in South Saudi Arabia?
2,
No.
Ah. So it's in northern Saudi Arabia.
It is more northern, yes. If you cut the country in half, it is in the north bit.
Okay, right. Saudi Arabia. I could be getting somewhere kind of.
Sorry?
I could be getting somewhere kind of.
You might be the closest that anybody has ever got, and you didn't even realise it was a place until you had 9 questions left.
Yeah.
So
Geography of Saudi Arabia. That could, actually, is that? Oh no!
what?
I thought I misread. Well, I saw Southwest Asia and kind of sort of thought that I could get pages because I kind of read it as if it was Southwest Saudi Arabia.
Oh, right, okay.
And I was like, maybe I can get specific pages for areas of Saudi Arabia. But I don't think so.
Somebody get me a giant clock. I might go and steal the countdown clock.
Does a river run through it?
1.
No. At least I don't... This is a very short page, by the way. So, no.
See, I don't know if it's going to be linked to. So I don't know if I'll be able to find it.
Just ask a question that might help you narrow it down, and then we'll get to 1, and then... Then
Is
you
it...
can ask if it's an Australian festival about not having rabies.
Is it...
No, it's not.
So do you know what region of Saudi Arabia it's in?
I know which province it's in, yes.
Which province? Okay.
One question, then. Because that was a question, technically. I do know the province.
Is it in...
Sorry?
Is it in either the Jorf province or the Northern Borders province?
No, and that is your 20 questions used. Oh dear.
Could be here.
Oh dear, Matt. Okay, you were very close. You've probably come closest than any of us ever had in all the 4 games we've played, using a different rule set.
Yeah.
The village you were looking for was called Al-Aqul. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Have I been near there? I recognise that name.
It's a village in the Al-Madinab province in western Saudi Arabia, and that's all the Wikipedia article says. Apart from its coordinates, its GPS coordinates, and its time zone.
I can't see that province on a list.
Sure you can, sure. Come on. You must
Wait. Al-Madinab?
Al-Madinah.
Al-Madinah. I can't see that.
It might be calling it a region. Oh, anyway. Right, I think we're, I think we should probably move on to my go now.
Yeah, probably.
And we'll see how well I do at this. Okay, Matt, have you got a random page for me?
I'm definitely not doing that.
No? Are you going to find a specific page for me?
No, I mean, I'm not. There was a random one that was ridiculous.
Okay, fine. As in, completely unguessable.
Yes, it was a list as well.
Okay, cool. Right, fine.
Okay, this is interesting.
You got one?
Yep.
Right. Animal, mineral, vegetable, or other?
Yes.
You know how you're supposed to answer this spell.
Other.
Other.
19.
Right, okay. Is it a work of art?
18.
Is it?
No.
No. So
Well,
it's not like a...
It's been designed. It's not a work of art.
Oh, okay. Is it a building?
17.
Yes.
Sorry, 17. So it's a building.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Ooh, hold on. Is the building in Europe?
16.
No. List of buildings. List
Yeah,
of buildings not in Europe.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Is the building in America?
It is.
Is the building in the United States of America?
14.
Yes.
Okay. United States of America. Right, okay. Let's see if we can... See, I'm already... I think I can do this. Just law of averages. Is the building in New York?
13.
No.
Damn it. Okay. Is the building a superlative? Like, is it the tallest, the biggest, largest, something in
12.
somewhere?
I don't think so, no.
No, okay. Let's see if I can find states of the USA. I'm going to see if I can narrow it down to a state.
Haven't you got 49 left?
Yeah, I know. Okay. Is the state that the building is located in on a coast?
11.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You got quite lucky there.
11, okay. So, I have ruled out all of the central states. That is useful.
That was good. Yeah.
That was a good question by me there. I mean, like, come on.
It was.
Okay. Whew. So my options are Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama,
Yeah.
Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. Okay, it's not quite as good as I thought.
Indeed.
Well, this might help. Does the state's name have 2 letters? 2 words, sorry. 2 words.
Most of them have 2 letters.
Yeah, 2 words.
No, it doesn't.
Not 2 words. Okay, that rules out a few. Does the state's name begin with a consonant?
9.
No.
No. So that means it's either Washington, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida.
Doesn't it mean it's not any of those?
Sorry? Oh,
It's
yes, of course.
not
Oh,
a
it doesn't?
consonant,
Oh,
yeah.
that's an even better one. So it's either Arizona, Oregon, Alabama. Sorry. Oh, my word. I think I've narrowed it to 4 states.
It's one of those.
Oh, crikey. Okay. So Texas, Arizona, Oregon. Not Texas.
Not
Why-
Texas,
Not,
no.
not Texas. Alabama, Arizona, Oregon, or what was the other one? There was one, wasn't there? Have I narrowed it down to 3?
You might have, don't know.
Okay, does it begin with an A?
No.
8.
Okay, I'm fairly sure now that this is in Oregon, but I'm not going to use all of my questions on that.
Fair play.
Let's see if I can find the Wikipedia page for Oregon. Okay. Oregon buildings. Okay. I've got 8 questions to find a building in Oregon. I'm sure this can be done. Does it belong to a university?
7.
No.
No, okay, so it's not
Don't
a
believe so.
university.
No, it doesn't.
Does it belong to the state itself?
6.
So it's like an official building, like a department of something or other.
No.
No. Okay.
I don't think so.
I'm just going to go back to the actual Oregon page now and see if I can find. Okay, is it in one of Oregon's major cities?
5.
I'll have to see. Is there a list of Oregon's major cities?
Yes. You can find it by going to that. Yeah, there. It has.
I think
It's a
I've
rank
found
of
it
10.
anyway. Sorry. Right. No, it's not.
No. Oh. Oh. Okay, that's all my hopes gone. Ting tong, ding bing. I'm actually gonna look at a map of Oregon and see if I can. Okay, so that's Oregon. Crikey, Oregon's a bit sparse, isn't it? It's not particularly densely populated.
No, you don't hear a lot about it.
No. If you put a line through the centre of Oregon, is it south of that line?
4.
Sorry for my specific questions, but I do sort of need to know this.
No, that's all right.
I'm now sort of drawing a line across Oregon.
No.
So, okay, so be in the north then.
Well done. It will be.
Is the... Oh, crikey. I'm going to take a punt on this one. Is it located in Baker City?
No.
No, okay.
3.
I just found an area that looks very weird on Google Maps. It's all covered in circles. It looks like sort of partially filled in pie charts. It's weird. I hope I'm close with this one.
You could be.
Is it in Hermiston?
2.
No.
No. Oh, Matt.
Very sorry.
You better be. Oh my word, I just found a place just north of Oregon called Walla Walla.
That is a very good name.
It's an amazing name. Shout out to Walla Walla in Washington.
Walla Walla.
Walla Walla. Walla 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 Boo. I'm sure that's probably not appreciated. See, I'm trying to find fairly out of the way places that are in the southern bit, not in the northern bit. Sorry,
The northern bit.
yeah. Is it in Madras?
1.
No.
Oh, crap. Okay. Is it in Corvallis? 0.
No.
No. Okay. Okay. Do you want to tell me where it is, just so I can sort of find it?
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm out of questions.
Oh. It's in Forest Grove, which is in the Washington County.
Right. Forest Grove. Oh, there. Okay, here's the thing. I did actually think about asking if it was in Forest Grove. Oh my word! And what's the actual building then? Is it
It's the Harry A. Crosley House.
Harry A. Crosley House? I can't even find that on on Google Maps. Oh, great. Okay, that's. Can you give me some GPS coordinates?
Oh, wow. Not of the house, no.
So it's a house. Oh my word.
Oh, so yeah. So,
oh dear. There's a place that sells wickless candles. I think somebody might have got something horribly wrong.
yeah,
Wouldn't it be kind of weird if one of my viewers came from here?
it would. Yes.
It would be. It's a very small sample size of viewers, but quite a lot of them are in the US. So yeah, well that's obviously gonna be shocking to anyone who I can see you.
So I'm looking at what links to it, because you can do that. It's quite cool.
Yeah.
There is one page that isn't. Oh no, sorry. There are 2 pages that aren't either talk pages or user pages. So pages you're not going to find. So it's quite.
So
bizarre.
basically, nothing links to it.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that was incredibly great. So even if I had found list of buildings in Oregon, it wouldn't have helped.
Yeah. It's on the list of National Historic Places in Washington County, Oregon.
Right. Okay, well that was fun. I think we're going to wrap up the main show now. So thank you very much for listening. We will see you again next week. If you want to get more of the podcast, however, contributing $1 or more to my Patreon will unlock an extra 20 minutes or so of this podcast, which will probably include some deleted scenes and the discussion of the technical setup of the podcast. So if you're interested in that, give me money. Hey, bye.
Cheers, bye.
Thank you for listening to Versus Humanity. Your hosts were a collection of selves in the shape of Razeor and Matt. If you enjoyed the show, please consider contributing to Razeor's Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Razeor. The music was a collection of vibrations ranging in frequency from 67 Hz to 45 kHz, collected from Epidemic Sound. A full track list can be found in the bit that nobody ever reads. All information contained in the podcast is presumed correct by the hosts, but may very well not be, especially if I said it. That's right, Razeor wrote this script. Versus Humanity encourages you to speak your mind. You can do so by commenting below, emailing us at versushumanity@razeor.co.uk, or rolling up a piece of newspaper and shouting through it out of your window. Listeners residing in dimensions higher than 4 should listen to these notices again, but backwards, as potentially vital information regarding the future safety of the universe will be revealed.